have to make sure I look slim, which isn't going to happen. My name is Ollie Winiberg, content manager for Drummers Review and the main stage host for both the UK and Europe Drum Show. Recently, I was invited down to Devon by Neil Golding, the organiser of the two biggest drum exhibitions in the world. We sat down at his home to talk about how he chooses which drummers perform on which stage, the birth of the main stage mini, the journey so far, and what the future holds for the UK and the Europe Drum Show. Welcome to a very special episode of the UK Drum Show official podcast. I'm here with the organiser, Mr. Neil Golding.
Hello, everybody.
Great to see you. Thank you for having me.
No, you're very welcome.
So, the UK Drum Show is the biggest drum show in the world, arguably, alongside the Europe Drum Show. How did this all come together? Can you give me some background about the journey from where you came from as to how you're now putting on these two massive drum festivals?
Oh, crikey. Right. So, UK Drum Show really came about because of a close working relationship with Drummer Magazine back in the day. People of a certain age will maybe recall the London Drum Show. And the magazine and the show went hand in hand, side by side. And then UK Drum Show really came about me wanting to do it for myself rather than running it for another company. I'd had a lot of experience of being around the drumming community, which I absolutely loved.
Yes.
Lots of friends in the business, lots that you'll know yourself now.
Yes.
They're just a great bunch of guys and girls. I wanted to do something for myself. The show launched in 2017 and initially up in Manchester. And it really went on from there, really.
So why the ACC Liverpool? Is there a particular connection with that venue, or does it just fit exactly what you need?
Well, as I mentioned, it was originally up in Manchester, and it went and transitioned to the ACC during the most troubling times, which was COVID, ironically.
Yes.
So the Manchester venue just became too small. COVID came along, and there was still a lot of interest. Though we couldn't go and see one another or get together and play drums, there was still lots of interest for people wanting us to bring the show back, to visit the show, and all the companies naturally wanted to come along and exhibit because their businesses were largely on hiatus.
Yes.
And they wanted something that they could plan for the future. And so during COVID, where most people were thinking, oh my goodness, what should we do? We were thinking, right, we need to go bigger. So we were able to meet with the ACC during that time under strict guidelines and conditions.
Yeah.
And from there, it's just grown and grown and grown. And the ACC just lended us with the footprint of the venue because it's just that much bigger. And it's got, as you'll know, a lovely auditorium, and all the other breakout rooms for us to not just always think about the content for the moment, but also for years to come. And now if you visit the UK Drum Show website, theukdrumshow.com, quick plug there, and you click on the Experience tab, you'll see now where at the very early stages we had main stage and the Mike Dolbear room and the Mike Johnston room. Now we've got, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 or 10 other rooms with different experiences, which we can touch upon. But there's so many other things there, and that's another reason why we chose the ACC. And it wasn't too far from Manchester either, because I suppose because we had lots of people from Manchester that loved the show, that came to the show in the neighbouring areas, that we thought, well, Liverpool's only an hour down the road. It was still commutable. But then, reach out to other people then from around that area too. And of course, Liverpool has got, a great music legacy and music history too.
Yeah, of course. So a question that I get asked a lot is, how do you decide who's going to play? Because that main stage every year is getting bigger and bigger, is getting more iconic. I mean, this year, some of the names that you've got, Todd Zuckerman, Eloy Casagrande, Christoph Schneider. I mean, you don't normally see this sort of community pulled together in one weekend, and you've managed to do it. I mean, where do you go from here, and how do you get those drummers on board?
I suppose it's a combination of several factors, really. I suppose is naturally we want to put on a good show.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I suppose when we're looking at the different type of artists that appear over the weekend, we also try to be mindful that not one drummer may be all things to all people.
Yes.
So I guess we have to look at a spectrum of different styles and genres and things like that, just so it's somebody can come along and go, oh, I really wanted to see them, or I really wanted to see them, or I followed the band, or followed that particular drummer and his career or his music.
Yeah.
So the selection process, if you were to call it that, I mean, there are always drummers that in some instances, we've wanted for years, and we'll ask the question, and we'll ask the question, and normally it's not a resistance to do it, but anybody that's at the top of their game, it's availability.
Yeah.
You know, they may have a new album out, or they're recording, or they're touring, so you've got all these other factors. And it's if the ducks align, like they have this year,
Yes.
we end up with just a great number of awesome drummers.
Yes.
Happen to be free on the same weekend, like you say, Christoph, Gavin,
Yeah.
Mark Juliana,
Yes.
Greg
Thomas
Dyson,
Lang.
Thomas Lang.
You know you're getting somewhere when Thomas Lang opens your event.
I know. I mean, we've been very, very fortunate this year that there are some people that we really wanted to have. Some are doing it for the first time. Some of the others have done it before, but maybe several years ago. And I suppose when it comes to the artist lineup, whether it's that room or others, is some of it will be that we'll have artists contact me directly, or Mike Dolbear or Mike Johnston, and say, look, how do we get involved? It's such an awesome weekend. They may have been to the show as a visitor.
Yeah.
Just for the hang, or they're on one of the endorsing companies' brands, or one of their stands rather, and they'll go, oh, how do I get on main stage? Or how do I get in mic room? How do I get in? How can I work with Mike Johnson? So we have a good element of artists that will reach out. There'll be artists that we'll think, oh, we'd just love to have them, or we'll get suggestions on social media, because sometimes, you know, Sophie or Amy will ask questions and go, who would you like to see? We can't make any promises, but we can ask the question. So it is that sometimes. And another times it will be some of the companies, they'll have someone that might be new, a new discovery, someone that they think will be really hot, that people would enjoy seeing. So sometimes the companies also put forward suggestions too.
Yes, yes. I mean, what I love is when the UK Drum Show and Europe Drum Show announce that there's going to be an act. I love seeing the comments on Instagram just blow up.
Yeah.
I mean, it must feel amazing for you to go, we've really done well with this. You know, I've seen people say, well, where does it go from here, guys? Like, what are you going to do next year? You know, and that must feel amazing from your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, seeing the reactions, not some that we can repeat, to be honest.
I've got a bleep button.
There should be a bleep button on social media. But there is I mean, it's a great litmus test, isn't it? You announce somebody, and within minutes, seconds, you know, the phone has to be turned on to silent because it's just going ping, 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 ping.
Yeah.
And the reactions are great. But what's also good as well is that it will also prompt, they're amazing. Could you also get them too? Yeah. So there's that. So. Yeah. I mean, it's fantastic to see, and you think, okay, you know, that artist choice seems to be right for this year.
Yeah, and for those of you that haven't had the opportunity to go to the UK Drum Show, we talk a lot about the main stage and the education rooms, but they are just so amazing because yes, you've got this massive auditorium for the main stage, but you've also got other rooms dotted about the venue, haven't you? Which they've got, they're more intimate. There's, you know, some rooms might seat 10, 15, 20 people. Others range up from 50 right up to 400 the ACC. So those smaller education rooms or masterclasses, I think for aspiring drummers, they're the rooms where people feel safer to ask questions. You know, putting your hand up in front of 15, 1600 people in an auditorium can be a bit daunting, but when you're sitting down in a group scenario in Mike Johnston's room or Mike Dolbear's room, people might feel a bit safer. And also downstairs, which we haven't mentioned yet, the exhibition part, which is where I would say 90% of drum brands can be found.
That's right.
And people can go there, they can buy their favourite cymbals, they can buy their favourite sticks. The drummers never hang around backstage only, do they? They're always walking around meeting people.
They are.
And, you know, in a world where retail has been punched in the gut after COVID, those exhibition spaces are so much more important now more than ever, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, that they really are. And it's good that you mentioned that. Yeah, I mean, there's been lots of music retail shops that they've perhaps survived COVID, but the damage has already been done.
Yeah.
And that's true, I think, of anybody. You know, if you walk through the high street now, you know, whether it's music shops or other things,
Yeah.
you know, that whole experience, retail experience, is one that definitely seems to be on the decline. So
Yeah.
the good thing, I suppose, about it with the UK Drum Show is, you know, it's got it undoubtedly has the biggest selection and choice of every musical drumming instrument all in one place in a given weekend, which is great because we don't expect people to come in and be walking out with a brand new drum kit tucked under their arm.
No.
So
That'd be hard.
Well, it'd be very hard, especially if they're getting on a train or what have you. But I suppose the good thing is with the show is, yes, you know, there are show deals and offers and things, and that's great. And you see lots of people walking around with goodie bags and sticks and a snare and a box and all the rest of it, which is great. But of course, for those that can't manage the taking gear away or what have you, or they're looking for the inspiration for their next piece of gear, whatever it might be, you know, cymbals, kits, electronic, there's such a wide choice, is we hope that they leave there inspired from trying the gear, seeing their favourite artists and everything else, but then hopefully they'll remember that, you know, they've got their local shop that's there to support them. We're only there one weekend, don't forget. You know, the retail shops that are still fighting for survival or existing to provide a service, you know, do support them. That's what we would say is, you know, support your retail shops.
Yeah.
Go in there. If you're going to buy a kit, if it's a difference of a few quid, just support your drum shop.
Yeah.
Because you'll be going out to a gig or something will break, or, you know, you bust a head or whatever.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how quick any online retailer might be. If you need it there and then, and your gig depends on it, hopefully you can whiz down to your local shop and they can get it. So we are a showroom, we are an exhibition with UK Drum Show. People can buy, of course, but like I say, support your shops. They need you.
And the great thing is as well is that you get to try out so many things in that exhibition space. It's not often you'll have all these brands aligned at the same event at the same time.
You won't. No, that's right.
And the other thing which you've obviously mentioned is you know, the community, the drumming community, which from first-hand experience I've seen two strangers walk into the UK Drum Show on a Saturday morning. As I say, two strangers leave on the Sunday night best of friends.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is the case for the drumming community? What is it about it that makes it so special and people so open and transparent with one another?
I think it's because, you know, you'll get a mixture of people that attend the show. You'll get families. I mean, you know, if I go back, even when I started launching drum shows back with London many years ago, you know, you wouldn't see like kids in prams with their parents. It's a family experience, and that's really nice. And lots of kids, lots of mums and dads with their children coming as well. But so it's a nice vibe that the whole family can enjoy. Yeah. But I suppose from a drummer's perspective, and you know, arriving as strangers and leaving as friends, I suppose it's, if you compare other musicians, I suppose within the band, I think the common denominator is drummers are always very happy to share. Yes. Now, I think, you know, whether that's in the case of, I mean, you can consider experience in a few different ways, couldn't you? You could consider, you know, what they've learned and how they want to share it. Now, whether that's on a visitor level between a visitor and another visitor, yes, or between what any of our artists happen to share over the weekend. So it's a guest leave and they've learned something. But I suppose I think the experience doesn't come down to just what you've learned over the weekend. I think if you've arrived as individuals, they are experiencing it together. They might have arrived separately, but they're experiencing. So if they're sat in the auditorium together, I think it's a friendly environment.
Yeah.
You're going to look to whoever sat next to you, especially if you're there on your own, because people do come on their own.
Yeah.
And they'll look and go, "What do you think of that?" Or did you try that? What do you make of that?
Yeah.
And I think that's it. And I think it's just a great hang, isn't it? That's the thing.
It's all about the hang. It's all about the hang. And Lionel Lewis came on an episode of the Europe Drum Show official podcast, and he was saying it's all about the hang. It's all about the gathering. Where does it go next? Because I know I've joked around with you and said, oh, you've got Eloy on one day and you've got Christoph on another, you've got Thomas Lang, Greg, you've got Todd, all these great drummers. From a business perspective, how does this grow any more than it does? Than it has, should I say?
I suppose, as a business perspective, invariably it has a ceiling. We haven't got, there isn't an infinite amount of drum brands, or cymbal brands or electronic brands. There simply isn't. So on a commercial level, it's great. The exhibitors support the show.
Yeah.
They want to provide a tactile environment for guests to come along and try things and everything else, and that's great. I suppose from a growth point of view, the most rewarding for me is adding the other experiences.
Yes. Mainstage Mini, for example.
Mainstage Mini, for example, that was my wife and I were driving home from the show a couple of years ago, and we were just so impressed by, how young, literally how young some of these children were coming along. It's seeing the young people at the show that, they're like kids in a sweet shop. They're looking around, they're trying the gear, they're playing the gear. Mainstage Mini was as I say, it was an idea I had just come into my mind driving home from the end of a show. Yeah, you're decompressing and you're thinking, digesting everything that's gone on, and you're buzzing because everyone else is buzzing and had a good time. Yeah. So my mind never stops. So Mainstage Mini came about. It's great for the kids, and the other thing is it's the blessing of social media. I know some of it's got its downsides. Yeah. But if you look at the positives of it, we've had youngsters reach out to us from all over the world that are seeing what's happening for instance of Mainstage Mini.
Well, you've got kids flying in this year from India, Ukraine, and from all over the world to be part of this event.
It's a commitment, isn't it? Some of them, you could argue that they were coming to the show because they're coming to the show anyway. That's still a hell of a commitment. Yeah. And a fair distance to travel, like you say. India, absolutely. Ukraine, Spain, so many countries. I'm not even up to date with how many kids we've got coming from different countries. Of course, we've got kids from the UK too. But what's been amazing through the social media reach of the show is it's far-reaching. And I suppose if you're getting on a plane and travelling from India with your parents to come along, do Mainstage Mini and play a 10-minute set. Yeah. It just shows. Hopefully, it illustrates to the industry that whilst you've got the problems with the retail and everything else that's going on in the world, that the desire and ambition from the little ones is. Because they're the next generation, let's not forget. Yeah. They'll all be playing drums and I'm long gone.
Well, hopefully that's not too soon.
Not too soon. But that's what you've got to think about. There's I suppose there's so many distractions now. Yeah. You've got the internet, you've got all the social media apps and everything else, and going out playing football or doing whatever it is you do as well socially. So I think what I want to do with Mainstage Mini, sort of lingering on that for the minute, was just to reward those kids, to say, look, we all live busy lives. The children's have got lots of distractions, and I suppose I wanted to reward the commitment to wanting to learn and be the next generation of drummer, which is why when we launched Mainstage Mini, a bit like Mainstage, so if you look at main stage on the website, you could click on the main stage, you've got the artist profiles and about them and some videos and everything else.
Yes.
So we wanted to do something for the kids.
Yeah.
So so they could say to their peers, look, I'm on there.
Yeah.
I'm on. I might not be on the same stage, but I'm on the same weekend. Eloy's playing, or any of the other fantastic artists that are on over the weekend. I'm on that same bill, but main stage mini.
It's amazing, and I want to really take a moment to genuinely thank you for doing this, because there's nothing else like this. There's no other weekend as big as the UK Drum Show or as the Europe Drum Show. And on behalf of all the drummers and percussionists and drum enthusiasts that come to the show, I honestly, without blowing smoke, just want to say thank you for putting it on, because that weekend, that is my Christmas day. Yeah. And I know that I'm not alone in that thought.
No, I have heard that phrase a few times. I mean, I think that's the takeaway for me, is that, yes, I'm always very busy running into the show and then preparing for the next one. And obviously from an operational point of view, looking at everything that's going on across the campus over the weekend. But the moments that obviously I enjoy the most is just looking at the expressions on people's faces.
Yeah.
I'll be sat up with, Ross by the sound desk or what have you in main stage, or stick my head round the door in Mike Johnson or Mike Dolbear's room. And it's just the smiling faces.
Yeah.
It's very, very satisfying. I mean, there's a lot of doom and gloom in the world with one thing or the other at the moment. So I think for a weekend where you can just focus on music, playing drums, enjoying yourself, listening to some of your idols, taking a lesson, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
It's a lovely distraction, isn't it?
And then heading to the Pullman after for the infamous.
Well, well, then the trade and artists. Yes, there is the catch up on the Saturday night, which is nice.
Yeah, it is.
People reflect on the day, and of course, the music trade again is a community within itself.
Yeah.
And they don't get time to catch up all year round.
No.
So because everyone's in one place for the weekend,
they make the most of it.
It's a nice social activity as well.
Well, we've got so much to look forward to in October between the 18th and 19th at the ACC Liverpool.
Yeah.
How many emails do you think you get per day about people wanting to play this super prestigious event? You must open up your computer each morning and think, right, okay, there's X amount of emails. What would you say that rough number might be?
Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot. Many years ago, I used to get a little frustrated when I was dealing with whoever the individuals or company may be, and I won't name names.
No, name them.
But I can completely sympathise. We are still a small family business.
Yeah.
I run the show with my wife, my daughter's involved, and we have great people that work with us. Yourself included, Ollie. All the guys that do all the staging, backstage, and Martin Oldham and his team from Drum Tech Support. All the sound. All of those guys. But it's a little family.
Yes.
That runs all these things. So, going back to your question, I suppose, is how many emails? Goodness me. Thankfully, I've got this lovely team of people around me, because they do help now, because it is impossible to keep up with, unfortunately.
Yeah. Because people don't realise how small the team is.
No, that's it. Not everybody works all year round for me. People will come in as we get closer to the show and help take up some of the slack. But during the initial point of contact, most of the time throughout the year, is myself, and then seeing who I need to delegate or deal with myself, and that's always a bit of a challenge, because I suppose from the very beginning I wanted to be very personable with as many people as I can, and just now, because of the size of the thing, it's not so straightforward.
Well, it's growing heads now, isn't it?
It is. It's growing heads. There's more people to help me, and it's not that I haven't got the time for people. I'll always try and do that, but it's just with all the other different facets that are being added to the show as well. Because behind every new experience room, there is a conversation with what is it?
Yeah.
How is that going to enrich visitors' experiences? Do we want to do that? How do we function it? How do we schedule it?
Yeah.
And then, of course, it's how do we communicate it and get all the information out there to share with everybody? And, you know, we've got several new features. So, excuse me. So, I you know, for those that come every year, they'll be familiar with Main Stage, Mike Dolbear, Mike Johnston,
Yeah.
Main Stage Mini. This year we welcome back the Sabian Experience Room again, which is great. So if people want to hear things in a more intricate and quieter environment, we've got that. But then we've got, you know, Ludwig this year have got a new experience room with just a room full of snares this year. They've changed from what they done last year. So that's something to go and check out. We've got the guys at Drum Dog, you may have ever seen walking around filming at the show anyway, because they just love the hang. They kindly brought Bernard Purdy to the show last year, which was a real treat and a highlight for me to present him with the Lifetime Achievement, which was, you know, was just a fabulous honour.
And he cried on stage.
Oh, he nearly made me cry on stage.
He's making me cry now.
So, you know, you've got those things. I'm just trying to think what else.
You've also this year, sorry to interrupt, but this year, which is brand new, you've got merchandise.
We've got new merch. We took a pause on it last year, so we didn't do anything last year. But we had lots of requests. So there's hoodies, t-shirt, sweatbands for the first time. Even
hats,
drinking flasks. I'll leave it up to you to what you put in it. But so that's back, and there'll be a dedicated booth for that too. And then we've got some new features that may be announced by the time this video goes out. But we've partnered with Drumeo and Alesis, and there is a education lab on the upper level, and they're running free drum lessons on Alesis kits. Drumeo are hosting it with Alesis supporting with the hardware. And they've got free drum lessons all weekend. Wow. Which is a brand new feature. Just trying to think if there's anything. I mean, there's lots and lots of things to do. More than I can remember, I have to apologise and say. But again, if you go to the UK Drum Show website, click on the Experience tab. There's a long list of stuff there. If you click on it, it'll give you an overview and a synopsis of everything that's going on for you to plan your day. And then on that, plan your day. When you come into the show, if you're new to the show especially, you'll see QR codes scattered around the campus. You could scan it and it'll give you a chronological list. So you'll know that if you want to see this main stage artist there, or Mike Dolbear, Mike Johnson, or get a lesson, or do this or do that. There's a long list so you can try and navigate the weekend.
So for example, if you wanted to go and see Dexter Hercules from Ed Sheeran's band playing in Mike Johnston's room, but then you wanted to go and see Gavin Harrison as well, you scanning that app, you could plan that accordingly.
It brings up a whole list. All the timings are there. Because that's the thing. It's got the timings and the locations, so you know which room to go to or what floor to go to. Because there's a lot of content. You won't be able to see everything. That's the reality.
And there's also so much I want to ask you about. And one of the things that I get asked about is, what is the VIP experience?
I suppose VIP has grown from, we used to have a priority ticket for main stage, I suppose. This goes back to, and we get asked this every year, so I suppose it's a good point to touch on. So the capacity increases every year with guests. Every year on year, without fail, more and more people come. Which is great. You know, the hang becomes bigger. So many years ago, we used to, for those that are travelling some distances, and of course, you know, as I've said, like some people are travelling from other countries to come to the show. So if they wanted to see a particular artist, they don't want to go and get on a plane and get there and go, oh, can't get in. So we initially added a priority ticket, so you could buy your general admission, so standard, you know, admission for the day or the weekend, and then add a priority pass for main stage, typically. So that was what happened, and there's a nominal £5 if people wanted to add that on, but then they could be assured of a seat, especially if they're traveling, because we don't want to frustrate anybody from wanting to come and see who they really want to see that weekend. So VIP just went a little bit further. So rather than us deal with priority tickets for multiple artists, we thought, well, look, why don't we just run something out that's a VIP? So VIP will provide the guests with a VIP lanyard with it's got in the lanyard part itself. It's got a pair of ACS earplugs.
Oh, nice.
Because you will need them.
Oh, yes.
Especially in the exhibition hall in the noisy time.
Yes.
So you get a pair of the plugs with it. This year we've partnered with Vata, and they are kindly providing a pair of Chad Smith signature sticks.
Oh, wow.
So for every VIP ticket that buys a VIP, you get the plugs, you get a pair of Chad Smith sticks, and then what you also do is you then get priority access to all main stage artists over the weekend.
Amazing.
So you can just go there, go to the priority queue, and it doesn't mean that others won't get in.
Yeah.
It just means that those that definitely want to get in and see somebody,
Yes.
that they've got that assurance, especially if they've travelled some way.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for letting me crash into your home.
That's okay.
And come and spend the day with you. And, you know, it's so great to catch up with you because we don't actually see each other that much, despite what people might think.
No, I mean, we talk a lot on the phone,
Yes.
and we talk about, obviously, Drummers Review as well.
Yes.
'Cause, you know, if in between the show, if people want to learn about the gear, some of the gear that's out there,
Drummers Review.
drummersreview.com. Ollie will be interviewing artists throughout the whole year. Some of them will be appearing at the shows. Some of them might be appearing or chatting with you because they've got a gig and you've gone backstage and you've been able to talk to them that way.
Yeah.
But the Drummers Review as well, you've got, you know, if you're interested in a bit of gear, whether it's to buy at the show or not,
Yes.
you know, we've got a team of guys that looks at all the latest gear and they just give impartial, honest opinion on what they think.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's worth checking out, you know, especially if you haven't got a retail shop near to you.
Yeah.
If you want to have a look and get some advice, you know, that's another thing that we do.
We've got a fantastic audience over on Drummers Review. Our YouTube just ticked over 25,000 subscribers, so it's going really, really well there. And as Neil said, you know, we're interviewing drummers from all walks of life, whether it's backstage at shows or if they're playing the UK Drum Show or Europe Drum Show. You know, that you know, it just builds that drumming community together. But thank you so much for coming on.
You're
and
welcome.
I will see you in October.
See you in October. Take care.